My wife told me that she didn't want to adopt my son because she doesn't love him like her biological kids. Now she's horrified when my son calls her by her name and not mom. I became a single dad at 19 when my ex-girlfriend decided motherhood wasn't for her. She signed away her rights when Liam was 6 months old. I never heard from her again. I raised him alone for 9 years, working construction during the day, freelancing at night, sleeping maybe 4 hours if I was lucky. I met Sarah at Liam's school fundraiser. I was the only dad running the dunk tank, soaking wet, and she bought 15 throws just to keep talking to me. When I told her about my situation on our third date, she didn't flinch. She said she'd love to meet Liam. Their first meeting, Liam was so nervous he knocked over her coffee all over her white dress. Sarah just smiled and said, "Good thing I look better in brown anyway." We got married when Liam was 10. He carried both our rings down the aisle, grinning so wide I thought his face would split. We had 2 daughters together. Ava is now 7, and Mia just turned 5. From the outside, we were the perfect family. 3 weeks ago, Liam came to me with tears in his eyes. Happy ones. He told me he wanted Sarah to officially adopt him for his 18th birthday, that he wanted her last name before college, that he wanted it legal, wanted everyone to know she was his real mom. I almost cried right there with him. I told Sarah that night, expecting her to be emotional. She lit up and said absolutely, hugged Liam the next morning, told him they'd handle everything together. But 2 nights later, after the girls went to bed, Sarah said we needed to talk. She looked pale. She said she'd been thinking about the adoption constantly, and she couldn't go through with it. I asked her why. She said she loved Liam, but not the same way she loved Ava and Mia, that legally adopting him felt dishonest because those feelings weren't the same, that it wouldn't be fair to make it official when her heart wasn't fully in it. I felt the room spin. I asked if she'd been faking it all these years. She said no, that she cared deeply for him, that she'd always be there for him, but that he wasn't hers the way the girls were, and making it legal felt like lying under oath. I told her to say nothing to Liam, that I'd figure it out. I spent 4 days trying to find the words to tell my son that the woman he'd called mom for 8 years didn't actually want to be his mother. I couldn't function. Liam kept asking when they were filing the papers. I kept stalling. Then I came home from a job site early. The house was silent. I found Liam on the couch, Sarah's phone in his hands, face completely blank. He'd grabbed it to check the time because his was dead, but he saw her messages first. Sarah had been texting her sister. "I don't know how to get out of this. He's not really mine. I can't be legally tied to someone else's kid forever. I love my husband, but this is asking too much." Liam looked up at me with dead eyes. He said, "How long have you known?" I tried to explain, tried to tell him I was protecting him, buying time to tell him gently. He just stood up and walked to his room. That night at dinner, he didn't come down. Sarah went to get him. I heard her knock. "Liam, sweetie, dinner's ready." His voice came through the door, flat and cold. "Sarah, I'm not hungry." She came back looking confused. The next morning, same thing. "Sarah, can you pass the orange juice?" Ava dropped her fork. Mia asked why Liam wasn't saying mommy anymore. Sarah tried to apologize. She sat outside his door and cried, said she panicked, that she didn't mean it, that she was scared of the commitment. Liam opened the door and stared at her. "Thanks for finally being honest, Sarah. It's been almost 3 weeks. He only uses her first name now. Won't make eye contact with her." Last week, Mia asked me directly, "Why doesn't Liam love mommy anymore? Is Sarah not his mommy? Does that mean he's not my brother?" I immediately said, "Liam will always be your brother." Sarah's face crumbled. She finally understood the damage. But it gets worse. I found Liam looking up emancipation requirements. He'd been researching whether he could legally separate from us before college. When I asked him about it, he said, "Why would I stay in a family where I'm not actually wanted?" Sarah is completely falling apart. She keeps trying to fix it, writing him letters he won't read, making his favorite meals he won't eat. Yesterday, she broke down sobbing in our bedroom, saying she destroyed everything. But Liam told me last night he's done, that he spent 8 years thinking he finally had a real mom. Now he knows it was all conditional, that the girls are real family, and he's just the kid who was here first. I've contacted divorce attorneys because how can I stay with someone who made my son feel like this? Sarah keeps begging me to tell her how to fix it. I told her exactly what Liam told me. There's nothing to fix, Sarah. You already made your choice.